Welcome to the Stop Suffering in Silence podcast with your host, Denise Walsh and Rachel Timothy.
Hey, you guys. Big welcome back to Stop Suffering in Silence. My name is Denise Walsh. I'm here with co-host Rachel Timothy, and today we are going to be talking to a guest who also has a nonprofit in the Michigan area. Their mission is that every woman, regardless of her past, deserves the opportunity to access clothing that makes her feel exceptional. And she has a mobile boutique that supports trauma and trafficking survivors. And we can't wait to dive into her story today. So big stop, sis. Welcome to Holly Gort.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm very excited to hear a bit more about your story and what you do and how you support survivors. So before we jump into what you do now, I'd love to hear a bit about how you got here. So when did you first have this spark of an idea that you wanted to, number one, support trafficking and trauma survivors, but also in this way?
Yeah. So I was in interior design for about 22 years. Love all things color, creative, meeting with people, and just finding a space for them to enjoy. Never really planned on leaving that space or that job. I loved it, but had a pretty serious health issue. I had lost the left side of my body. I didn't have a stroke. I saw a stroke specialist. I saw an MS specialist. Neither of them could agree on what it was. But I did know that I couldn't shower by myself. I couldn't empty the dishwasher by myself. And so a lot of physical therapy and healing had to go on in my body. So I was off of work for about a year and a half, kind of coming to that realization that interior design was not going to be it anymore. It just was too much and too intense. And so just really started praying about what the next step of life was going to be and where God was going to use me. And so during that time of heavy praying and figuring out where to be, I truly believe that God gave me a vision. In the form of a dream, right? You're sleeping. It wasn't like I was awake and saw this vision, but I came out of this dream and I could see it was the most real thing ever. I mean, I could see the color scheme. I could see the name. I could see the verses on the wall. I knew that it was new clothing and gently used clothing, but it wasn't a space for women to just come and shop, because a lot of times when we are shopping, we're shopping to fill a void. But this was a place to just to help them. Yes, they needed some clothing, but it was to help kind of fill a void. And so I woke up and I wrote all of this down on a sheet, and I still have this sheet. And I kind of sat on it. I thought, well, maybe that's in 10 years, maybe that's when my kids are grown and I can do something like that. And in the meantime, my image consulting career had just kind of started. So I had connected with a woman who owned Beautiful Image Consulting. And I was meeting with women and helping with their colors and going through their closets. And I was doing that a little over 2 years. And then I was at church, and the pastor was talking about kind of the 3 G's of church. Is we gather, right? We get together, we gather, we give our time, we give our resources, but when do we go? And he specifically said, if God has given you a vision, why have you not gone?
Oh, geez.
I had goosebumps, and I was like, okay, it's time to go. And that was last year. So last year, I purchased an enclosed trailer. turned the inside into a really cute looking boutique, filled it up and took it to a nonprofit where the women that they assist are typically in their teens that are facing unplanned pregnancy and want to keep their child. And so kind of helping through that with teaching them financials and teaching them cooking and, all of that stuff. And so we did kind of our first little boutique session there with them. We had 15 girls, and all of them were able to get the clothes that they really loved. They were able to try them on, put outfits together. So it really just fed my fire.
That's awesome.
How does the boutique work? Do you get booked to go to kind of locations, or do you consistently go to shelters, or kind of have a scheduled spot, like every Tuesday you're at this place? How does it work?
Yeah, so it really is more of a booking type setup currently. If there's a nonprofit in the area that has, women that they aren't able to get to our studio, we also have a studio. It looks like a boutique. If they can't get the girls there, then I can take the trailer to them, and I ask sizes, I ask styles, and then fill that up with the things that they need. Pull up, open up the doors, and they can hop on in and try on all the things that they like.
I just can't imagine how loved that makes them feel, like seen and understood and validated and all of the things, because I know when you have trauma in your background, no matter really how extreme, it changes kind of how you view yourself. And getting a chance to stand in a beautiful boutique and choose an outfit that makes you feel good about yourself, it's priceless.
It gets me so excited just seeing, these girls from this nonprofit, these young moms. It was close to Mother's Day, and each of them were just so thankful. Thank you so much. I didn't get anything for Mother's Day, but this makes me feel like I got something, and I can look nice when I get together with family. And donations, I am very selective with. No holes, no stains. They need to have no pills, things like that. Just, they don't need to look like they're hand-me-downs. I want them to be top quality, cute, fashionable, so that they can feel that way when they put them on.
That's awesome.
Do you have any stories or testimonies that you have experienced in your first year here?
We're getting there. I have had some girls reach out and say thank you. It has meant the world to them. I did have one girl say, I had nothing to wear to my own baby shower. She said I was going to wear my boyfriend's sweatpants and hoodie, and that was just, the best that I had. So that's what I was going to wear. And then she had something really cute put together with shoes and a handbag and accessories. And so she was quite excited now to go to her baby shower. Those are the things that I'm really looking forward to hearing, the ripple effect of, women purging their closets of things that don't work best for them, but still have great quality and great use. And being able to see, the difference that it makes for someone.
Well, it's fascinating because it's right. It's the clothes, but it's really the self-image that you're shifting, and and shifting that self-image and that confidence can really change the trajectory of somebody's life. We often say it doesn't need to be a big flip of the switch, but it's like a 1% shift. And now all of a sudden I'm showing up differently. Now all of a sudden I apply for that job. Now all of a sudden I feel confident applying for that job or showing up in this way. And it can really make a big difference in somebody's life years down the road.
Huge. Yeah. So through Beautiful Image Consulting, that is really what I've come to notice with, all sorts of women that I've worked with. They have this, they see themselves a certain way in the mirror. And when someone comes along and sees them and lets them know how they're actually seen through through our Father who created us, but also through a sister in Christ, and seeing that she has value and she has purpose. And sometimes just a little bit of encouragement can go such a long way.
Yeah.
So how can people support you guys?
The best way to support, one way is donations. And so, again, I'm pretty selective on that, but what I want is in season. So right now we're into the fall and winter. So we want fall, winter items. Again, great condition, no rips, tears, stains. We don't want any missing buttons. If it's a sweater and it's super like pilled or worn, we want to probably pass on that. But if it's still a great item, go ahead and pass that along. Same with handbags, accessories, shoes. We take any of those. And then soon there will be volunteer opportunities. I've been taking in a lot of donations, and so I'm going to need some assistance kind of going through those, but also hanging them and steaming them, making sure they're looking great when they're hanging up. And then we're also going to be connecting with as many different nonprofits as well. So ministry isn't a competition. I think if someone does something really well, like what you are doing, you do that really well. I'm not going to try to compete or take over that. And so if a woman comes in and needs assistance in that way, I would love to get some of your brochures, put them in my connection center at the studio, and just hand those out as girls need. And so I definitely want to connect with as many nonprofits as possible that are assisting women. And then there's going to be education portion of it as well.
Nice.
And so one of our first nonprofits that will be coming to speak is called Warning Lights, which is out of Byron Center.
We interviewed her as well. Yeah.
Oh, good. Awesome.
She's awesome.
Yeah, she's going to talk about some of those warning signs of trafficking, because it's easy to think like, well, that's not around here. That's in a third world country, or that's in a bigger city. But honestly, it's right here. And so being able to see those as parents, as teens, I think is a fantastic thing. So hoping to do some education portion of it as well for the community.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm so glad that you followed the dream that God gave you, and that your preacher just so happened to tell you to go, and you went and you were obedient. There's going to be so many lives changed. It's absolutely beautiful.
Thank you. I'd love to get you girls into the studio to check it out. That actually, the trailer really was kind of that initial dream. The 3 to 5 year plan was more of a studio, but I had someone come forward. They had a space available. So we were able to change it from a call center into a really cute boutique. We have the closet that we call it. That's where we take in the donations and kind of go through and sort and everything. We have 2 dressing rooms that girls can try things on and shop. I had a nonprofit actually walk through earlier today. They were super excited about it. Feels like an upscale boutique. So I love hearing that. Yes, it's secondhand, but I think it feels like they're going to get a great experience there.
Oh, cool. Absolutely. Is the studio open to the public, or is it appointment only when, the shelters or other locations are bringing their girls?
Yeah, currently it's by appointment only. We're hoping to have kind of a grand opening in January, just so that the public can see it. And then if you're interested in volunteering for sorting and hanging things, we'll have different nights available to do that. You can come, with a group of your girlfriends. You can come with a ladies group or a gems group or a youth group, something like that. We'll have music, we'll have snacks and something to drink, and then just have fun together, volunteering and assisting Redeemed in that way.
Very cool. I'm a accountability coach for middle schoolers, so keep you in mind. need to choose a service project for Christmas time.
That would be fun.
Yeah, last year we went to the hospital and gave presents to the kids.
Very
And so it's just kind of fun to switch it up each and every year.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, we will put all of your links in the description box. If you are local here in Grand Rapids and are able to donate or volunteer, or you've got a small group that would enjoy this service opportunity, then definitely check out Holly, the Redeemed Boutique, and all of the links will be there for your browse. What is it? I don't know. For your enjoyment, for your peruse. I don't know. But Rachel's right. I think it's one thing to have a spark and an idea and this like holy discontent of like, all right, this is something that God has really put on my heart. And it's another thing to actually go do it, because there's a bridge, like a gap, right, between this idea and how to actually get it done. And so
for sure.
Congratulations to you for saying yes and allowing the how to figure itself out, because oftentimes if you guys are listening, like, we don't know how to do it or how it gets done, but we start to figure it out, and you research and you ask questions and you network and you do the things to gather the information and the skills needed to make the dream come to life. And so, and
if you ask, that's the thing too. It's like, it's the ask God, ask your network, ask people of, this is what I want to do. Who do I need to be in touch with? I didn't have $3,000 to buy a trailer and to convert it over. But honestly, one of the things that God was like, have a garage sale. And I was like, I will shop garage sales all day long, but to have a garage sale, please no. But it ended up, we were $50 shy of what we needed for the trailer. And so, he provides. You ask and he will provide, especially when he gives you that vision. And I'm telling you, to have a nonprofit and then get your status in less than a year, and then to have the trailer, and then to have a studio, that was in the 3 to 5 year plan. But that, honestly, like, it's set up and it's ready to go. He's moving it along. So never be afraid to ask.
And the name Redeemed Boutique, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
It, honestly, that was the name on the brick and mortar in the vision. Like, that was what I
Oh, yes.
It just was like, that's what it's got to be.
Yeah.
That's what it's got to be. So
cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your heart and your story today. You guys, if you are listening and you want to support Holly and her ministry, absolutely check out the links below. Donate your time or resources as you can, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening to this powerful episode of Stop Suffering in Silence. If you are interested in booking Rachel to speak at your school, your church, or on your podcast, then please email openblindeyes@protonmail.com. If you are interested in sponsoring a survivor on their healing journey and would like to donate to Stop Sis, then please check out the link in the description box or show notes below, or you can email stopsis@protonmail.com. And finally, if you are currently suffering in silence, or you know somebody who is, whether they're dealing with a current trauma or one from the past, then we will always recommend that you reach out to your local resources and find a counselor that you can trust, because nobody is meant to suffer alone. Have an amazing week, and thank you for being here.